Hey Instagram, this is Alex Oliver, the host of Project Onward Artist at Home Quarantine Edition. We're back with yet another episode, and I'm really pleased to be joined today by Stephon Doby, another one of the many fantastic artists at Project Onward. Certainly one of the most intuitive artists, completely self-taught, does a lot of really amazing work, but does one thing that I particularly enjoy that a lot of the artists do well, and that is kind of create his own universe in which he kind of creates this whole narrative and these characters and explores this whole world. You may be familiar with it already. It's Altered Gender at Texas Valley High, and we're going to talk to him about that. We're going to talk to him about his portrait work, his background, and his journey to Project Onward. So without any further ado, I'm going to invite him to join us here, and we'll get things going. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. Stand by.
How you doing? Awesome Nation.
Hey, Stephon, how are you? I love the enthusiasm.
Hold on, let me turn on the lights.
Good, do you think?
Here I am.
There you are. Say hi to everybody.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
All right. Let's get some waves from the people at home if we can. Hit that wave button. Don't be shy. Lots of hearts coming in. All right. Fantastic. How are you, Stephon?
I'm okay.
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've been really looking forward to interviewing you in particular because I'm such a big fan, as a lot of people are, of your Altered Gender at Texas Valley High series, which is kind of ongoing. You've been doing it for a while now. When did you first start the Altered Gender series?
Okay, I'm started in 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
I'm started at the characters that I created. The first character I created was Brittany,
All right.
Jay, and Kylie.
Fantastic. Now, for those who may not know, can you just kind of set the stage for us? Give us a quick background as far as the premise of Altered Gender. What's the story there?
It's about 10 cheerleaders and 10 football players swapped only for gender instead of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like gender bending.
Right. Okay.
Stuff, Friday Night Lights and other gender bending episodes.
Sure.
Yeah,
So all high school football players and cheerleaders. And now, correct me if I'm wrong. They were on their way to a game.
football game.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then crash into the biochemical
Wow.
pharmaceutical plant.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up in a crash. It's like it mix of puberty blocks, mixing with puberty block things and gender chain chromosome formula.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and so then it's just all about these.
They're okay right now, but turns out they're swapped.
And nobody died. No one was killed in the crash. Is that right?
What?
Nobody was injured in the bus crash, right?
Wait. Hold on. I can't hear you.
Oh, that's all right. Do whatever you need to do, and get things going.
Say, repeat.
Sure. So the bus crash, no one was injured, right?
No one is injured.
Right. Okay. And so then since then, for the past 15 years, I guess, since you started this series, they've all been just sort of dealing with being regular high school kids thrust into this kind of extraordinary situation where they're all having to kind of see things from a different perspective. Boys are starting to see things from a feminine perspective. girls from a masculine one, dealing with changes with their bodies, and just sort of how they're supposed to react to these new gender roles that they've found themselves in. Is that right?
Yes, it's part of Pride Week.
Excellent. Which we're entering here soon. We're in Pride Month, the month of June, of course.
Pride Month. Got it.
You know, obviously there's so much going on in the world right now. So many worthy causes that deserve our attention, but we certainly can't forget how important Pride is, particularly for the artists of Project Onward, who, like Stephon, do their best to be very inclusive and explore all of these themes from different perspectives and different walks of life. And Altered Gender is such a great example of that. Now, part of it too is not just sort of what they deal with personally, but just kind of their relationship with each other and with people around them. Now that the boys are girls and the girls are boys, it sort of changes how they interact with each other, doesn't it?
I think so, but they have to challenge to go through their different identity.
Yeah. So
And mostly have challenges on their own, like boys doing sports things and girls doing shopping.
right, so that's very important to note. Now, the girls start playing football, right? The guys start cheerleading. They really start kind of assuming these roles and probably learning a lot in the process, I would guess, right?
Right.
Robin pointed out that Girls and Boys, the Blur song, that's kind of the theme song. Is that right?
Maybe. Yes. Maybe.
No, it should be. That's a really cool song and definitely appropriate. Now,
Okay.
it's not fun. Hey, if you're hungry, by all means, you'll have a snack. That's what we're about to do.
I'll save it for the post game.
All right, great. No problem. Either way. So I understand that you may be possibly and by the way, for anyone who is unfamiliar with this series, please go to projectonward.org right now and look at some of the work. There's some examples of it on the website. And as soon as the studio reopens, come check it out because it's so cool. Hopefully, you'll get to see it in the form of a graphic novel soon. That's something that you're working on, right? With Robin and some of the other people at Project Onward?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you pretty excited about that? Are you a fan of graphic novels?
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, because as amazing as the illustrations are, the story is such a big part of it too. And you do have this incredible backstory. You've got all of these narratives kind of woven throughout, and you've got backgrounds for all the different characters. I know that some of your work is drawings of the characters with just different facts about them and things that they enjoy, and they all have names, and they all have their own families and opinions, and it's really just such an amazing big universe that you created. And I think it would be really cool to see a graphic novel that, maybe someone will pick up and turn into a TV series or something one of these days.
Or TV movie.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless, really. I would personally really, really love to see that.
All right. It's coming from around the world except two things from other countries.
So what was that, Stephon?
I was just talking to myself.
Oh, cool. No problem. Well, what kind of inspired your work? Not necessarily just Altered Gender, but your work in general. Because you do have, I mentioned at the top of the interview that you're totally self-taught. It's very sort of intuitive, kind of art brute, some might describe it as. But what inspired you? I know you're into a lot of animation and anime and things like that.
Other things like for all ages. Everybody watch cartoons for all ages, not just for kids, but adults too.
Well, and on that note, I know you have another series that's kind of similar to Altered Gender, that is maybe a little bit more adult in nature. Could you tell us, that's Lemonlicious Days, is that right?
I think so.
Lemonlicious Days, excellent.
I think so, but it's in hiatus.
I'm sorry?
It was in hiatus right now.
In hiatus, got it. Okay, well maybe we'll get to see some more of that eventually, but that work is also really cool and worth checking out. Whitney pointed out that you enjoy high school drama shows. I think that really comes through in your work too, not necessarily just cartoons, but you mentioned Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. I know on your bio on the Project Onward website, it mentions Total Drama Island, which is an animated show, but it's very much about teenagers.
I'm a cartoon lover.
Excellent. Yeah, that's so good. Do you remember how you got interested in making art, and how old you were, and what kind of inspired you to do it? Was it from the cartoons that you watched?
Sometimes. I'm inspired some cartoonists.
What were some of your cartoons when you were a kid? What would you watch?
Most of them, I guess, but most importantly, I was watching a lot of shows that I was inspired.
Excellent.
Just created.
So just kind of pop culture in general, and it certainly has permeated throughout your art. You can definitely see those.
Yeah, and very nostalgic.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, can you tell us a bit about your introduction to Project Onward? How did you get involved with Project Onward?
How did I get involved from Project Onward?
Yeah.
I've been there for almost 10 years. And I'm starting to get involved. I'm looking for a job. To get something, looking for a job because I have a job. Back in 2010, where the Blackhawks made it to the finals. And right now, I got my job, and I'm starting working as an artist. Like starting with cardboards and colored pencils, and then I started developing the pens and markers and paints as well.
Excellent. Now, who introduced you to Project Onward? Did someone invite you to come, or did you find them on your own?
I guess.
Yeah, excellent.
I was traveling alone, and I could use my phone and stuff.
Well, you've certainly been a great addition to Project Onward. Your stuff is really eclectic and, like I said, very inclusive. We like to include people from all kinds of backgrounds, whether it's sexual orientation or race or religion. You like to explore a lot of different cultural backgrounds.
Yeah.
Allie, in fact, wants to know how you learn about them and what inspires you.
I'm inspiring for people with disability, gender, nationality, stuff like that.
Do you do research before you? Stephon, I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
I'm sorry. I was inspiring gender, disability, nationality, and stuff like that.
So that's really important to you then, right? To kind of give a voice to people who may not always have one?
Yeah.
That's really inspiring. That's so cool. How about the different cultures that you include in your art? How do you research them? Or is it just kind of based on stuff that you already know that you kind of picked up through pop culture and through TV? Hey, Stephon, I think you might have your finger on the microphone. I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm still figuring.
Okay. I was sorry.
No, it's okay. No need to apologize. I'm just curious how you research the different cultures that are in your work, or do you not even research them? It's just kind of based on stuff that you already know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So just kind of through osmosis, I guess. Just you kind of pick it up along the way. Well, that's great. I mean, part of what makes your work so amazing is it's all just kind of like filtered through your really unique imagination, and that really comes across. So Bill is asking how you feel about gender equality. I mean, clearly that's a topic that's important to you.
Maybe it was really maybe for gender equalities like sports, business, entertainment and stuff.
Yeah.
But the politicians, I don't know, maybe feel okay.
Sure, there's still a lot of work to be done, and
Still
I mean,
over.
that's I really admire you for taking a stand on that, because it's very important. More people need to talk about it, and your work certainly helps to do that.
Yes.
Yvonne, I heard that you might have worked on an exclusive piece just before this interview. Can we take a look at that?
Yes. Yes, I will. And here's my first one right here. Hold on, let me give it a light. And
Can you set it down or something?
I got it.
Yeah, that's great. So here, Stephon, try just setting it down and pulling the camera out just a little.
Like this.
Yeah, that's a little better. Fantastic. So are these more altered gender characters than I see?
Yes.
Is this Brittany?
Yes.
So how many?
Letterman jacket.
Fantastic. How many characters would you say exist in the altered gender universe, or do you not even know at this point?
It was to be announced.
Announced. Okay, great. We'll save that for the press release for the graphic novel.
Okay.
Well, Stephon,
Just for the kids only.
thank you for
Just for the team and the football team and the coach.
Excellent. Great. Well, I think you could probably pick the phone back up now if you want us to see your face, or if you got somewhere you can sit down, that might work too. Whatever's most comfortable for you.
What?
Oh, nothing. Just making sure you're comfortable. You can hear me and see me. All right.
Yeah, right here.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. You're at home right now?
Yes.
Excellent. So what's it like for you working during the pandemic while you're stuck at home? Have you found that it's difficult?
Hold on.
Of course, take your time.
Just hold on a minute. And they say how the pandemic. It was quite quiet today. I was peacefully, but get in touch with the people. Well, over the social media. I don't know. Just quite sure.
Yeah. So it's a little hard to find inspiration sometimes when you're stuck at home and when you can't go into the studio, or do you have a pretty comfortable place to work while you're at home?
It's a comfortable place to work while going to the grocery store. Sometime.
Have you been working on a lot of art at home?
Just working on it, work in progress.
Excellent. Well, good. Well, we can't wait to see it. We can't wait to get you back into the studio. So, Stephon, I'd like to know if there's any specific memory from your time at Project Onward that really stands out. Was there a particular
Portrait slam?
What's Portrait Slam?
I did well in portrait.
Yeah.
I did a portrait slam pretty well.
Are those usually a highlight for you? I know your portraits are some of the best, and that's definitely another thing that you do really well. So your portraits are kind of unique because you will take
in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether it's a pet or a person, you'll kind of put them in. You'll pull up any background they want on your laptop or your phone or your tablet, and you'll work
Yes.
into the portrait. That's so cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Was there a favorite that you remember doing, or was there a particularly unique background or one that you thought was really funny or interesting that you had a lot of fun drawing?
Sometimes. Yeah, but mostly French ones.
French one.
The Paris one.
Excellent. Would you have the Eiffel Tower in there or something?
Yes.
Cool. So what other sort of kind of inspires you as far as doing the portraits? Do you usually like to talk to people when you're working with them, get to know a little bit about their personality, in addition to, which kind of look?
Maybe I was just looking for a background that based on a video game, either a video game, stuff like that.
Do you like to talk?
Based on a video game.
Do you like to talk to them when you're drawing them and get to know them a little?
What?
Do you like to talk to the person that you're drawing and get to know that person and their personality?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. That's good, because I definitely think that can help, in addition to sort of what background they want to be featured in, So I wonder what your process is like when you're working, whether it's on your altered gender stuff or one of your portraits. What kind of environment do you like to be in when you work? What do you do to prepare? We know what kind of tools you use, but
I have a pen and a marker and kind of the imagination.
yeah.
And either my phone or tablet or a computer.
And how do you like working around the other artists at Project Onward? Do you find that kind of helps inspire your work? Do you talk to them and kind of get ideas from them sometimes, or offer some opinions of your own?
I have an opinion of my own, yeah.
Yeah. Do you talk to the other artists a lot?
I'm not sure.
Not sure? Well, I guess it's been a while. I'm not sure what life was like before this either. Well, let's see. Let me go through my list of questions here. You've shown us some of your work, and I really appreciated that. Well, Stephon, can you tell us how the pandemic has affected you personally? Not really even necessarily your art, but just how you're doing?
Yeah, I was doing quietly, watching videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like watching videos and play video games, play on the computer, talk to social media stuff.
Yeah, that helps stay connected to people. What kind of video games have you been playing?
Play sports video games.
Are you a big sports fan?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know that obviously has worked its way into some of your art. What kind of inspired you to flip these roles and have, cheerleaders play football and have the football players be cheerleaders? I think that's definitely one of the most interesting aspects of altered gender. Is that something that you often wish that you could see in real life?
Sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And I think in other states.
Yeah.
During the rallies and stuff.
Sorry, what was that?
It's like a school thing or something. School sporting event.
Oh, like a pep rally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Excellent. Well, what's your? I know you were in school, right? You went to Malcolm X College, and where did you go? Where did you go to school before that?
Before I was dropped out at art. Before I was at Walter Payne College Prep.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching one homecoming game. Just one homecoming game in 2007. 2007.
Mm. That was something that really stuck with you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Did you make a lot of art when you were in high school?
What?
Did you make a lot of art when you were in high school?
Just at home.
Just at home? Okay.
and art classes.
Yeah, but it was something that you've been doing since you were very young.
Oh, hold on.
Take it.
There I go.
Cool. Well, so fun. I'd like to know if you have any advice for any other artists, that whether it's some of your fellow artists at Project Onward or anyone who might be at home trying to find inspiration during the trying times that we're living in. What advice would you give?
I think he was, I'm not sure. Maybe taking time of your work. That's the first thing. And then for the cartoonists who have a different idea, for the cartoonist, well, give your own, like, need your own ideas. Like, making your own ideas to make cartoons.
Absolutely. And you'd like to,
Expand,
you want to be a cartoonist someday.
and the most importantly for cartoonists, inspired for your favorite cartoonist.
Yeah. Now,
And become a cartoon creator one day.
very good advice.
And become an animator one day.
Stephon, do you find that with your stories that you usually start with the images and then add in the words? Or do you usually kind of have an idea about the story first and then you start drawing the images? Which comes first, the story or the picture?
I think the pictures goes first, and then the stories go second, and then you put it all together. I'll put it all together as well.
Yeah, and you take your time. You know that.
It takes time. Take my time to do it.
It's time well spent because it's really fantastic work. Stephon, those are all the questions I really have for you. I'm wondering if anyone watching at home has anything they'd like to ask Stephon. Or Stephon, if you have anything else you want to add, now's the time. Please feel free to just say whatever's on your mind, and I'll relay some questions here if any more pop up.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you've been up to lately?
Not recently. Just watching TV.
Oh, here's a good question from Windy City Thrifter. Which of your characters is your favorite? Out of the characters you've created, who's your favorite?
Maybe Brittany Huntington.
All right, why would you say she's your favorite?
She has a natural blonde hair with blue eyes, and she's kind of nice. Especially she's from Texas.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Texas?
And then she would become a better. And then I was trying to say is that she become a protagonist.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. That's a nice personality trait. Well, let's see. I got another question here. Let's scroll back real quick. Nina Haggerty Arts said she's new to your work and wants to know if you have a favorite piece that we should check out. Do you have a particular piece of your art that you think might be a good introduction for people, something that you're particularly proud of that you want people to see?
It's like a poster. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a poster.
Like a poster? What's in the poster? Is it some of your altered gender characters?
Yeah.
Who is featured in it?
What?
Who's featured in the poster? Which character?
What? I can't hear you.
That's okay. Well, I think you pretty much answered the question. Check out this poster, and I'm sure Stephon will be happy to show it to you at the studio. We've got some more questions rolling in. Are there any artists at Project Onward that you've ever collaborated with?
I'm not sure about it.
No? Okay. Well, how about this? There's a second part to the question. If not, are there any that you would like to collaborate with?
Well, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe an art team, to teamwork for helping others to do like animation and stuff.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to see something like that. I feel like some of the other artists' work would complement your stuff really well. I mean, you've got other really great storytellers with, you know,
And people who inspiring art, like the favorite cartoon shows that, I mean, some of the artists who have other cartoon shows.
yeah, great. Well, yeah, that brings us to another good question, and that is, what are some of your favorite high school drama TV shows?
Which one?
What are some of your favorite TV shows, particularly the high school drama shows?
Hard to tell. It's a tie between, it's a three-way tie between the OC, Friday Night Lights, and Degrassi, the New Generation.
They're all classic. Definitely some of my favorites too. Well, that's awesome. What made you decide to set your series in Texas? Was it just because you kind of wanted this all-American setting?
Not recently. I was been to Texas 2 years ago.
Okay.
I saw the football stadium. I saw, unfortunately, about 2 to 3 years that I traveling with my mom. Like, been to Colorado. Before headed to Colorado at night, I was in Nebraska.
Yeah.
They have a football stadium and college arenas. Yeah, but 2 years ago I was headed to Texas, and I found these football stadium, and I saw the cities that are looking big or small. Yeah, and they have tried to find the schools they based on. It was hard to find it, but I'm going back to Texas another time.
Great. Well, I'm glad you were able to find some inspiration while you were there. By the way, we've got some more comments rolling in. People think you should collaborate with Jackie, and I would really love to see that too. You both are really great storytellers. You both have a nice animated style. What would you think about that?
Yeah.
Awesome. I will need to make that happen someday. Well, that's really cool. Well, Stephon, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you for showing us your work and for giving us a little bit more of your background. I'm a huge fan. I think you made a lot of new fans today, too. We can't wait to see what else you work on. Okay, we've got one more question rolling in we'll answer before we wrap things up. But Natty Evans would like to know, where do you think your love of city architecture and drawing buildings comes from?
It's hard to tell, but I was trying to take you pictures and try to find the cities that I'd like. Then I draw something on my pad, on my sketch pad, like somewhere, and mainly shopping malls as well.
Interesting. Wow, that's really cool. Again, a setting for lots of teenage drama, the shopping mall, an American insert.
And especially schools.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and why do you think you are interested in so many different cultures? Instead of, not even though it is set in Texas, you do have a lot of people from different cultural backgrounds. And I think that that's really interesting. Is it important to you?
Yeah, like Latino, yeah, like Hispanic, Africans, and Indians, Asians, stuff like that.
Is it kind of based on just what you see around you and the different types of people?
Multicultural. Yeah. Maybe multicultural. But all American, mixed with all American and multicultural.
Yeah, that's a really positive message, I think. It is, because
maybe I have a third idea to making team spirit for multicultural characters.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
And people with disabilities, is that right?
Yes.
Right.
Especially with disabilities too.
It sounds like you take a lot, not just from TV, but from your own personal experiences, I think. Is that fair to say? A lot of your own personal experience is in your work, too?
Yes.
Well, Stephon, thank you again. I really appreciate it. It was really cool getting a little bit more of the background on your work. I'm such a huge fan. So I really look forward to seeing more of yours in the future, and hopefully that graphic novel will be out before long.
Before it opens.
Yeah, awesome. Can't wait. Well, Stephon, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you back at the studio, okay? Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
Oh, and real quick, I just want to mention to anyone who may have watched our interview with Jackie last week, we did experience some technical difficulties, and we were unfortunately not able to archive that interview. Instagram was just kind of bugging out. But we are going to do another one with her later on, and we'll be sure to share all of that with you as soon as it's done, because she had a lot of really interesting stuff to say, and she's got a really interesting story, and her stuff is really amazing. So we want to make sure that as many people as possible are able to see that. So stay tuned for more details on that. Thanks again to Stephon. Thank you to everyone at Project Onward for including me in the incredible work that you do. I'm Alex Oliver. I will see you next time. Goodbye.